Welcome to Zodiac Signs Deep Dives, Episode 5, Compatibility Myths. What to retire, what to repair, and what actually builds a life. We'll move past sign versus sign hot takes and focus on 4 anchors that work in the real world. Feed the moons, match the rising pace, honor Saturn's promises, and let Venus-Mars negotiate style. You'll get simple scripts for repair, green flags to trust, and timing tips for defining the relationship without forcing it. We'll also cover when heavy contacts, Pluto, Chiron, Saturn, are growth, not doom, and how to set containers that keep love kind. By the end, you'll have a cleaner checklist for choosing each other on purpose. If you've ever heard Aries can't date Cancer, or Gemini is always unfaithful, or Capricorn is too cold, take a breath. Tonight, we're replacing cliches with a few simple truths you can actually use. What your moon needs to feel safe, how your rising sets the pace, how Mercury styles communication, and how Venus and Mars negotiate desire. We're going to make compatibility kinder, smarter, and way more practical. Here's the fastest way to break a myth. Remember that a chart is a conversation, not a label. It's not, do fire signs go with water signs? It's what happens when your fire meets their water? And who translates? The moment you stop asking the internet for permission and start listening for specific needs, the room gets quieter and your next date gets better. Let's start with the biggest, most expensive myth. Sun sign chemistry is the whole story. It isn't. The sun fuels purpose and visibility. Wonderful, important. But your day-to-day, do I feel okay next to you? Lives in the moon. Moon to moon is the private weather of a relationship. Feed the moons, and most fights turn into logistics. Starve the moons, and even good matches burn out. So ask this. What element is my moon, and what does that element consider a basic human right? Fire moons need momentum and small wins. If the week is all talk and no motion, they wilt and get snippy. Water moons need time and softness. If you schedule them like a sales pipeline, they go numb or throw storms. Earth moons need reliability and tangible care. On time, follow through. The groceries that appear without being asked. Air moons need conversation and oxygen. If you punish them with silence, they'll think themselves into a corner and forget what love feels like. When you meet someone, find the moon. Feed the moon first. The green flags you're looking for will appear faster. Myth 2. Element incompatibility is fatal. Fire with water, earth with air. The truth. Any elements can work when you give them roles. Fire says, let's go. Earth says, this way. Air says, tell them. Water says, make it matter. Problems happen when one element tries to do all 4 jobs. If you're fire heavy and dating someone watery, plan your week like a hot-cold plunge. A little heat, a little soothe, repeat. Announce the sprints. Pre-schedule the recovery. Suddenly it isn't you're too sensitive or you never finish anything. It's rhythm. If you're earth heavy with an airy partner, make shipping a ritual. One thing goes out every Tuesday. Air gets the channel. Earth gets the cadence. Conflict becomes choreography. Myth 3. Mercury doesn't matter as long as we're on the same page. Mercury is how you get on the same page. The sign and condition of Mercury determine whether a hard conversation collapses into defensiveness or turns into a plan. Fire Mercury talks like verbs and headlines. Get to the point. Don't bury action under disclaimers. Earth Mercury wants specifics, numbers, and dates. It relaxes when there's a list. Air Mercury wants exchange. Questions, frames, options. It dies when a talk becomes a verdict. Water Mercury needs tone and safety. When you soften your delivery, real honesty shows up. You don't need identical Mercuries. You need an agreement. We'll meet in the middle. I'll give you the bullet points first, then the story. You'll give me the heart first, then the calendar. Myth 4. Venus and Mars are just love and sex. In real life, Venus is your good, your aesthetics, affections, and values, while Mars is your go, your engine, your boundaries, your heat. Venus shows what kind of kindness you recognize. Mars shows how you assert and protect. In good relationships, they become teammates. If your Venus is Capricorn, you feel loved when effort becomes structure. And their Venus is Gemini, they feel loved when life is playful and curious. Trade gifts in each other's dialect. One date that's thoughtful and planned, one that's weird and spontaneous. If your Mars is Aries, you solve by doing, and theirs is Libra. They solve by weighing. Learn to ask, do you want decision or discussion? You will save 3 hours and 1 hurt feeling. Myth 5. Saturn synastry is bad news. Saturn isn't punishment. Saturn is gravity. When your Saturn touches someone's personal planet, you're being asked to build something grown. It can feel heavy or slow, yes. But if boundaries and commitments make you breathe easier, Saturn contacts are the anchor you were actually craving. The key is consent. Don't parent a partner. Don't accept a parent as a partner. Use Saturn to hold steady promises, not to police each other's growth. Myth 6. We're twin flames. It's supposed to be chaotic. No, chaos is not a spiritual credential. Uranus contacts bring surprise. Neptune brings enchantment. Pluto brings depth and power. All three can spark life-changing bonds. But a long-term container needs more than holy lightning. If the relationship only works inside extremes, that's not destiny. That's nervous systems begging for a plan. Keep the magic. Make a plan. We talk on Wednesdays. We rest on Sundays. We don't break up during a transit. You laugh, but it works. Let's turn this into a simple, living framework you can use before the second date or the next big decision with your spouse. Step 1. Feed the moons. Ask each other, what's one small thing that makes you feel safe this week? Not forever this week. A quick text at lunch. A clean kitchen at night. 15 minutes of walking before we talk. Put it in the calendar like rent. Watch how many compatibility issues vanish. Step 2. Match the rising pace. The rising sign sets how each of you approaches the day and conflict. Fire and cardinal risings want quick starts. They feel trapped by waiting. Fixed risings want stability at the beginning. Surprises feel like ambushes. Mutable risings want options. Hard corners feel like cages. Establish a pace. We don't text fight. We call it 6. We don't solve at midnight. We put a pin in it and return after coffee. A shared rhythm will do more than a dozen apologies. Step 3. Translate Mercury's. At the start of any important talk, name the format. Give me the 2-sentence summary first. Can we start with feelings and then build out the plan? I'm easily flooded, so can we whiteboard instead of argue? This is not weakness. This is competence. Step 4. Cross-train Venus and Mars. Once a month, trade love languages on purpose. You do their version of care, they do yours. Once a week, ask how each of you wants to approach a problem. With Mars, action, boundary, decision, or with Venus, softer, relational, harmonizing. Pick one. Energy stops canceling itself. Step 5. Check the angles. The ascendant-descendant axis describes me versus we. The midheaven IC describes public versus private. If someone's planet sits exactly on your angles, they will be loud in your life. That's not a red or green flag. It's a volume warning. A person on your descendant will feel familiar and charged. Plan for honesty and clean boundaries early. A person on your IC may be the coziest thing you've touched. Don't move in after 3 weeks just because your nervous system's hooked. Pace saves angels and mortals alike. Because stories teach better than lists, let's walk 3 short vignettes. Maya and Theo met at a concert. She's a Libra sun. Cancer moon, Virgo rising. He's a Sagittarius sun, Aries moon, Aquarius rising. On paper, she read soft and particular. He read wildfire with Wi-Fi. 2 months in, the myth machine started. We're too different. But when they fed the moons, things changed. Theo learned that if he texted at lunch and kept Friday nights sacred, Maya's nervous system stopped bracing. Maya learned that if she didn't overschedule weekends, Theo's spontaneity made her feel more loved, not less. They made one Mercury agreement, bullets first for him, backstory after for her. The differences didn't disappear. They harmonized. Armin and Priya married at 24, separated at 31, and called me at 32. Heavy earth and water on both charts. Love wasn't the problem. Stagnation was. Their myth was, we are stable people. We don't need novelty. Their moons were overfed with routine. Their Venus and Mars were starving for play and risk. We gave them one ridiculous assignment. Once a week, do something that would make their 24-year-old selves proud. Cheap and silly aloud. They learned to laugh again. After the laughter came desire. After desire came courage to change work schedules and try one big move. Their charts didn't change. The roles did. Jules kept dating intense people and calling it chemistry. Scorpio Venus, Capricorn moon, Gemini rising. Every relationship began with late night confessions and ended with exhaustion. The myth, if it's not hard, it isn't real. We tried a new rule. Don't share your entire memoir in the first month. Let Mercury and Venus go first. Leave Pluto in the backstage for a minute. On date 3, Jules asked about values and habits instead of trauma. Boring? Not to their moon. The nervous system finally exhaled. It turned out chemistry could sound like laughter at 2 p.m. in daylight, not crying at 2 a.m. in someone's kitchen. New story, new life. A few green flags to watch for. No birth chart required. They apologize in a language you understand. They keep small promises. They show curiosity about your needs, even when those needs don't mirror theirs. They don't punish your differences. They try to translate them. Their presence makes your better self easier to reach, not harder. If you also see chart contacts that support that feeling, moons in friendly elements, Mercuries that can meet, Saturn giving both of you a spine, great. But the behavior is the chart you care about. Red flags? Flourish without follow-through. A romance that only functions inside extremes. Perfect or terrible. Never ordinary. An allergy to your moon's basic needs. Endless analysis with air. Zero action. All heat with fire. No repairs. All order with earth. No warmth. All depth with water. No edges. You don't need to throw people away. You need to ask for a new dance. If the dance never changes, you're not incompatible. You're misused. Let's give you a 7-day tune-up you can run with a partner or by yourself before you step back out there. Day 1, name your moon's element and make one tiny request that feeds it this week. Can we walk while we talk? Can we send a good morning text? Can we keep the kitchen clear after dinner? Put it on the calendar. Day 2, agree on rising pace rules. 1 fast rule for emergencies, 1 slow rule for late nights. Write them down somewhere you both can see. Day 3, swap Mercury cheat sheets. I track bullets first, then emotion, or I process emotion first, then bullets. Test it in a small conversation. Day 4, trade Venus gestures. Each of you does 1 act of care in the other's dialect. No speeches, just the thing. Day 5, pick a Mars task and ask, decision or discussion. Do the one you choose. Notice the drop in friction. Day 6, plan a Sabbath for your moons. 3 hours of the kind of rest your bodies actually register. No points for suffering. Day 7, review kindly. Keep what worked. Kill 1 habit that drains both of you. Set 1 experiment for next week. Will astrology guarantee soulmates? No. It will help you stop mislabeling solvable problems as destiny. It will help you stop making promises your nervous system can't keep. It will help you love yourself enough to say, my moon matters. and brave enough to ask, what does yours need? Most incompatibility dies when two people feed the right needs at the right time. As we land, let me tell you the only sentence I've seen save more relationships than any hack. I care about you, and I'm willing to learn your language. That's it. Not become me. Learn me, and I'll learn you. Astrology just hands you a dictionary and a flashlight. That's your myth detox. Less fear, more skill. If this reframed compatibility for you, keep going with the rest of Pillar 2. There's more to say about how signs grow up across decans and how elements tune your week. And when you want to make this tangible and a little magical, come play at mysticbolt.com. Pull a spread into Tarot Studio, try the Rider-Waite Tarot app, grab a quick 3-card reading for perspective, tune your focus with chakra frequencies, or wind down with the Pranayama Flow breath timer. Make love practical. Make it kind. In the comments, tell me your moon sign and what it asks for when it's honest. Tell me your Mercury style and one agreement you'll try because of it. Share this with a friend who's been told their signs don't mix. People aren't cliches. They're two charts in conversation. Feed the moons. Match the pace. Translate on purpose. The rest, finally, has room to grow.